What happens if you take a VW Tiguan and just go crazy with the options? Well, you get something like this. All-wheel drive, electric memory seats, a panoramic roof, and even a heads-up display. Yeah, we have just bought a VW Tiguan, and it's a bit nicer than I thought it was going to be actually. This is the petrol version, so it has 190 horsepower and 320 newton meters of torque. But how does it drive? Well, my name is Tom, and you are watching Paragon Cars, and today we are going to find out. So let's get into it. Yes, this is the now very well-known EA888 inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. It's a fantastic bit of kit, reliable, especially for a German car, highly tunable, and a lovely thing to drive, especially when it's paired with a 7-speed DSG gearbox. What's it going to do on our 30 to 70 sprint though? Well, I think we should probably find out. Oh, and also, we are going to do a 0 to 60 later, so stay tuned for that. 30 to 70 then, we managed 7.49 seconds, which is exactly the same as a 2018 BMW 420d Cabriolet. The more you know. It's also faster than a 2018 4.4 litre V8 Range Rover. Maybe Range Rover were lying about their power figures. One thing's for sure though, this Volkswagen Tiguan is plenty quick enough for the daily drive. Right, it is now time to get on the road and see how this Tiguan performs in the real world. Okay, whilst we're driving around town, let's start off with the things that I like about the VW Tiguan. Well, this generation is just simple, it's just easy. Even though this is a touchscreen, it's just a very simple one. Everything is right in front of you, all the settings are easy to reach, and it's just obvious where everything is. Second is the storage. Now they've really thought about how to get the best possible storage in the car. So your door bins, not only are they lined with felt, so they don't make a noise, they are big enough to hold 2 big bottles. And not only that, we have a little cubby down here for your secret stash. That's not lined with felt though, which is, just a cost-cutting thing. But you do have this little storage bin up here, which is quite cool. The only thing is, it's on the dash, so anything that you put in there is going to get quite hot. But it is good for things like loose change, because again, it's lined with felt, so you won't hear any noise. The next thing I absolutely love, and this is just with pretty much every VW product, is their armrests. They have this really highly adjustable armrest, which just enables you to get super duper comfy in the car, no matter your body shape. I've got quite a tall torso, so for me, it's sometimes quite hard to put my elbows on things in cars. So having this is really, really nice. And obviously if you want to drive quicker, you can push it out the way, and then you've got proper access to all the angles of your steering wheel. Next, again, this generation of car, physical climate controls. It's such a shame they went with the cost-cutting theme of just putting the climate controls in the screen in the newer Tiguan, because these are so nice to have. And it has my favourite button of all, the Max AC button. Getting in a car and pressing one button to get cool is just awesome. So even though it doesn't look super special, it is just functional, it's nice, it's calm, everything works, it's all very simple, and it feels high quality as well. Then in terms of parking the Tiguan, it's quite a square shape. Even though it does look quite nice, VW are very good at getting their cars to be just easy to judge in terms of their size. This particular car has a 360 camera and some assistance systems that you don't really want to use in this generation of VW, because it's a bit slow. And to be honest, you don't really need it anyway, because you've got a reverse camera with lines telling you where you're going to go, nice accurate parking sensors, and then once you're in the space, you can pretty much always get to the first notch in the door. And that plays into the fact that everything is just easy with this car. The steering's light, yet somehow precise. The steering rack itself is quite fast as well, even though you've got quite a lot of steering angle. The throttle pedal is easy to modulate. And the engine, even though it has start-stop, this is a petrol car, so it's a little bit better than the diesel equivalent at getting going. Now obviously we have 4Motion, which is a Haldex-based system, so once these cars have gone past, I can put my foot down, and look, you pretty much just shoot off the line, and you're straight up to 30 miles an hour. Now even though this car only has 190 horsepower, it does feel pretty nippy. The EA 888 2-litre turbo engine is a fantastic engine because it balances performance with economy. And talking about economy, this car is quoted to do about 32 mpg on the combined cycle. And you might think, that's not so good. But remember, this is quite a big car at the end of the day. There's a lot of rear legroom, there's a big boot. This is an Audi Q5 in terms of size. So let's reset our trip computer now and see what kind of MPG we actually manage. But not only that, let's see how noisy this car is on the inside. Now, a very quiet car will do about 71.5 decibels. That is a brand new BMW X5. And an average car will do about 72.5, or the equivalent to an Audi A or S3. So if this is as quiet as an Audi S3 inside, it's pretty good. That means you could do a really nice long journey in it and you wouldn't get annoyed. Before we see the results of that, let me show you why this is actually a really nice car on the motorway. So first things first, getting onto the motorway is actually a really nice experience. Even though you don't really have all the power in the world, this engine just performs way better than the figures would suggest. So you plant your foot just in comfort mode, snappy DSG gearbox does its thing, and within a couple of seconds you are straight up to 70 miles per hour. Then why is this such a good car on the motorway? Well, it's because of this. Pretty much every VW comes with this system as standard, and this is the adaptive cruise control system. A lot of people don't trust these systems, but for some reason VW have somehow created one of the best ones I've ever used. It's predictive, it doesn't scare you, it doesn't lurch you into things, and it just seems to work better than other systems that I've used. You know, like some systems will see that lorry and then go ooh and slam on the brake, whereas this system, it's kind of like a human is just taking over. And one thing I love is that when you're changing lanes, if you've set it to a higher speed, it will actually give you quite a bit of throttle because it knows that you're moving into a faster lane. It's all those little things that make such a difference. And then once you are on the motorway, we have a 7-speed DSG. So we sit at just under 2,000 revs at 70 miles an hour. It's nice and quiet, it's nice and calm. The car is driving itself, and I don't have to do anything but kind of suggest where the car needs to go with the steering wheel, because it's got lane assist as well. And this is a car that's nearly 10 years old now. It's a really, really nice thing. And look, when I change lanes, it'll see the car in front of me and it slows down, it doesn't get too close to them. It's just a really, really nice system. And it plays in again to just how easy this car is to drive. To deactivate it, literally just touch the brake like any other system, and then you're in control again. Anyway, let's see what MPG this thing will do and how loud it is inside with our proper decibel meter. So that was a pretty good run today. In terms of MPG, we did 34.5 or 35 miles per gallon, which is not only better than its claimed combined figure, but it's also a pretty decent figure overall, I'd say. Remember, we do the average commute on this channel of 14 miles, which means you're not going to get the best possible fuel economy figure, but it is more realistic. And also remember, this is the 4Motion all-wheel drive fitted car, so it is a little bit heavier than its front-wheel drive counterpart. And one thing I will say is that this 2-litre engine I think is much better than the 1.5-litre engine that you can also get in this car. I think it's just a bit smoother and it feels like it's just got a bit more heft to it. It's a little bit more premium feeling. And in terms of decibel level, we did 72 decibels, so quieter than an Audi A3 and nearly as quiet as a BMW X5. A very good figure, I think. But how does this car handle? Well, we are at a roundabout now, so I think we should find out. Let's get the ESC in sport and the car in sport as well. And then around this corner here, we've got passive dampers that feel very nice actually. Quite sporty, but not overly firm. And the steering, although there's not a huge amount of feel, it's just nice. It's a nice car to get a hustle on in. And with the DSG, you just get really nice, fast shifts. Talking about fast, how fast is this thing on the 0 to 60 sprint? Or, well, I should say, how quick is this thing on the 0 to 60 sprint? We do have 4Motion and launch control, so it could be pretty speedy. Claimed to do it in 7.8 seconds, we managed 7.74 seconds. So Volkswagen definitely don't lie about their 0 to 60 times. Where does it put us on the leaderboard though? Pretty much down at the bottom. However, having said that, I will say it is enough power for the daily drive and not far off of a much more powerful Jaguar. So it's pretty nippy, but how does it handle down a tighter B road? Now this is where VW products are actually pretty good because, again, they have that pretty square shape, so you know where the corners of the car are, and even though they're on passive dampers, they are sporty enough that you can kind of tell what's going on actually. And obviously having that DSG gearbox means you have nice snappy shifts. But look at that, going over bumps, it composes itself really well. The brakes have a nice feel to them. There is very little to complain about with this car. Like coming into this corner, nice and hard on the brakes, downshift, plant your foot, and off you go. It kind of just gets you there. It's not super fun, but it doesn't need to be. It's just a pleasant car to get a move on in. But will it hit 60 before the corner? Let's give it a bash. Foot down. It'll upshift for me in manual mode. That's 50. Ooh, just. So I'm thankful we have good brakes. So all in all, a fantastic bit of kit, really. Predictable, safe, enough room for 4 adults and their luggage. Pretty reliable. The only thing you might have to change is the water pump / thermostat housing on these. But other than that, the engine is a very reliable unit and very tunable, so if you want more power, you can get it remapped. And you know what? If I was going to be made to buy a VW Tiguan, I would get this generation over the newer one, because forcing everything into the touchscreen, to me, is just a bit of a mistake. Anyway, as always, I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, give it a like and why not subscribe, as not only can you see more content like this, you can see everything we have for sale. My name has been Tom, and you have been watching Paragon Cars. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.